So I want to talk about this one quote that I read from this book named "Don't Believe Everything You Think." And it's an audiobook that I listen to, but there's also um, a book for it for you to read. But he talks about setting goals out of inspiration and not desperation. And that was a big thing that stood out to me. And he goes on to explain how you'll be able to determine whether or not your goals are or you'll be able to tell whether or not your goals were made from inspiration or desperation based on how you feel while you're pursuing that goal. Then he goes on to talk about how if you're desperate to make money and how you feel like you have to make money or else X, Y, and Z bad thing will happen, then any goal you create through that lens would be made out of desperation versus inspiration, where you feel open and inspired and excited to do the thing. And he had an exercise in the book where he was telling the readers to like think about like their goals that they have right now and to examine whether or not they were made from inspiration or desperation. And immediately I knew mine, or a lot of mine, were made off of desperation. And I began to think about like this journey of like making money and entrepreneurship and like some of the things that I've been doing to try and make money and just looking at how I was viewing it instead of like how I'm supposed to view it and view my goals. And I realized that I was creating all these goals from a lens of like, I need to make money or else I will not be good enough, or else I will not be able to do X, Y, and Z. And while that could be a good drive, a good motivating factor to like move someone and be like, all right, if you don't do this, you're gonna go broke. And but for me, I felt like it created so much fear of like, yo, you need to do this, you need to do X, Y, and Z, or else you won't be good enough. You'll never feel enough. You'll never do this, you'll never do that, you'll never be able to do X, Y, and Z. And I don't think up until now, from like, I want to say 18 till now, I don't think I've had a single goal, like business wise, that wasn't made out of fear and desperation and like trying to claw myself to the top. And like when I realized that, I'm like, oh shit, like I have been creating my goals wrong and I have been, looking at things the wrong way. And because I look back on like some of the days where I had goals out of inspiration, like when I was younger, wanting to make YouTube videos. And when I would pursue this, I would feel like so excited and so driven to get things done. And it never felt like work or never felt like a grind. And I mean, sometimes it was hard and sometimes I did have to like, for example, like maybe stay up at like from like 1 a.m. to 6 a.m. to edit a video or something. Or like maybe um drag myself through a video whenever I used to make them. And like there were hard times during that period, sure, but for 99% of the time, it was inspiration. The whole thing felt open. It just felt like very like unlimited. I don't know how to put it. It just felt like whenever I would think about like the goals and like the dreams that I had at that point when I was trying to pursue YouTube as a career, like it felt open. I didn't feel stressed out about like, yo, if I don't make it in YouTube, then I'll never be anything in life and I'll never be good enough or I'll never be able to find someone. And obviously I did know that like if I won't be able to make it with YouTube, then I'm gonna have to maybe, go get a 9 to 5 or go do this or go do that. And I knew that in the back of my mind, but it was never the driver. It was always like, okay, like I want to do this because I want to do it, right? And if it doesn't work out, which I know it's gonna work out, then the hell with it. I know at the end of the day, if I put in my absolute hardest work, then I'll be able to make it happen. And that's the mindset I had. I literally like I never doubted myself, not even one time or in one day, um, when I was pursuing YouTube. And um, now this is gonna fucking piss me off. But and yeah, so when he said that in the book of like creating goals out of inspiration versus desperation, and when he had us do the exercise of like examining whether or not your goals are desperate goals or inspirational goals, um, it really hit me. I won't lie. Like I've been thinking about it ever since I, heard it. And it's been like 2, 3 weeks. And I think now is just trying to find that balance of okay, like what can I do to be successful that will make money and inspire me? Because at the end of the day, like I don't want to pursue a goal that's just purely creative driven, where I'm only like really inspired and really happy about what I'm doing, but I'm broke. I'm getting back into YouTube and I'm now making videos, recording stuff with my camera, like just getting back into it and following that as a passion. And because I know me getting back into this will eventually lead to a success in my personal brand, and I'll be able to like make money from it and have that as a career. But I know that stuff like that and stuff like YouTube is what inspires me. So what I'm really trying to get at is I think with the stuff that I'm doing now, with the business models that I've been trying throughout the years, um, I think a lot of it was goals made out of desperation instead of goals that inspired me and goals that inspired me to work hard. And I think in the beginning it definitely worked. Like I was very driven. But at a certain point, I think you start to dread the work of like the grind and like doing things that you are only doing because you're scared something will happen or something won't happen if you don't pursue it. And it could turn into almost like a job, of like to where like you're only doing it because you want to make money and you're scared that if you don't do it, you won't have money and you won't be X and you won't be Y, you won't be Z. And like that's the only thing that's moving you. I think if you have that and you know that, but you're also really, really driven to do it because you want to build a big business, you want to be known for something, you want to help people, you want to do that. Like, I think, you know what I mean? I think having that balance of like being inspired and also being scared of like what will happen if you don't do it is a good balance. But I feel like I was only driven by the things that I knew would happen if I don't pursue my goals. And that really pissed me off or not pissed me off, that just really bothered me for a bit. Like I would just wish I knew this earlier because it could determine whether or not you actually hit those goals and like how many times you'll feel burnt out. Because if you're always operating with fear and only being driven by fear, I think you'll burn out at some point and like not want to do the work and like what's required because like your why isn't there, right? Or like your why isn't complete. If your why is like, okay, like, because people used to ask me all the time, like I remember when I used to like work in sales, like I would have like the sales manager ask me like, yo, what's your why? And I remember even like it wasn't even that I didn't want to tell them. It was just that like sometimes I didn't even know like apart from like the fear, yo, if I don't do this, like then I won't make it and I won't be good enough and I won't be shit and nobody will like I all this built up fear and I never had a reason as to like never had like that the other side, which was like the drive as to like why okay, apart from like the fear aspect, like why this won't happen, like why do you want to do this? Why do you want to be great? And I never had a fucking answer. So to anybody watching, and I'm in no position of authority to tell people how to think or how to view the world or how to, structure their goals or whatever. If you just take a look at your goals and you realize that a lot of your goals have been made through desperation and not inspiration, then I encourage you, you don't have to, like you can watch this video and then move on, but I encourage you to maybe look at it differently. Because look, you can still achieve the things you want to achieve. Like if you want to pursue online business or if you want to pursue certain things, you can still do it, but maybe change the way you do it or change what you do in online business. If you really want to start a clothing brand and you feel like it won't work out because of X, Y, and Z reason, and that really moves you and that really like inspires you to work on something and to wake up every single day and to want to do that. Because at the end of the day, when you do it and when you are successful, you will make money. I think that's a very healthy way to set goals. Instead of like, okay, I want to be an artist, but I don't really care to make money. I just want to be broke and like live paycheck to paycheck. I don't know, if even if that fulfills some people, like I don't like do you, right? What I'm really trying to say is like if you have an end goal, which for me it's like, okay, I want to be successful, I want to make money. Um, create goals where it's like I can make money at least doing something that I enjoy. Because if you don't like the thing you're doing, you're gonna hate the work. And like eventually you're gonna hate it and you're not gonna want to do it. And it's just gonna feel like a job, like a really shitty one too. So what I want to end this off with is if you're in the same boat as me and you realize that, maybe my goals are desperate goals and maybe I am, trying to claw my way to the top or trying to claw my way to success, like maybe you should take a look at that and change that. I think like fear of something not happening or fear in general um, can be a good motivating factor. But if it's the only one, you will fucking burn out.